Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today, BRQL just filed an 8K report, and I am seeing some interesting moves that could impact its future. Quick note, this is not financial advice, just my take on public filings for educational purposes. The company is making some big changes with new debt and preferred stock, and it raises questions about their strategy. Alright, let us dive into what DYNAMICAEROSPACESYSTEMSCORP is up to. First off, they announced a new convertible promissory note for $275,000. This means they are borrowing money that can later be turned into stock. The note has an 8% interest charge and matures in about a year. But here is where it gets a little more complex. They issued this note with an original issue discount of $25,000 and paid $4,000 in fees. So the actual cash they got from this loan was closer to $246,000. This note can be converted into shares of their common stock. The price they will convert at is pretty interesting. It is the lower of $0.50 per S-share, or 80% of the average stock price over the last 15 trading days. This sort of conversion feature can sometimes put pressure on the stock price, as the lender can convert when it is most advantageous for them. As a thank you for this loan or a commitment fee, they also issued 20,000 shares of their common stock to the lender. On top of that, they handed out warrants to buy another 199,275 shares of common stock at an exercise price of $0.65. Warrants are like options that give the holder the right to buy stock at a set price. So, this financing deal involves borrowing money, issuing stock as a sweetener, and giving out more potential stock at a fixed price. Now let us switch gears to another part of this filing. On the 24th of April 2026, which is around the same time as the financing, the company signed an agreement with someone named Tyler Troop for advisory consulting services. For these services, they are going to give Tyler 500,000 shares of restricted common stock. These shares should be issued within the next 10 days. This is a pretty significant chunk of stock being handed out for consulting. The company states that these issuances of stock and warrants are exempt from the usual registration requirements because they were made in private transactions. They are essentially saying these deals were one-on-one and not offered to the general public. This next part is a big one. On the 30th of April 2026, DYNAMICAEROSPACESYSTEMSCORP filed paperwork to create a new type of stock called Series E preferred stock. They are designating up to 5 million shares of this new preferred stock. The par value, which is a very low nominal value, is set at $0.0001 per S-share. Dividends on this preferred stock can only be paid if the board of directors decides to. Here is where it gets interesting. Each share of this Series E preferred stock gets one vote. This means that if a lot of this preferred stock is outstanding, the holders of this Series E stock could have a significant say in company decisions. Importantly, the company cannot change the rights or preferences of this Series E stock without the approval of the holders of a majority of it. Interestingly, this Series E preferred stock does not have any special preference when it comes to getting paid if the company liquidates. That means common stockholders would get paid first. Now, for the conversion terms of this preferred stock, it cannot be converted into common stock for 6 months after it is issued. After that 6-month period, each share of Series E preferred stock can be converted into 1.25 shares of the company's common stock. This conversion happens in 6 equal parts over 6 months. So, it is not a one-time conversion, but a phased approach. Also, no fractional shares of common stock will be issued during conversion. Any fractional amounts will be rounded up. The company also has a right to redeem or buy back any of this Series E preferred stock before it is converted. The price for this redemption would be based on the closing bid price of the common stock the day before the company announces its intention to redeem. They also attached a press release from the 16th of April 2025 talking about a drone demo expo. This is being shared to make sure everyone has equal access to information. In that press release from the 16th of April 2026, DYNAMICAEROSPACESYSTEM announced they would host a drone demo expo on the 30th of April 2026. They are partnering with the Arizona Department of Public Safety for this event. The goal is to showcase their drone platforms to law enforcement, fire departments, and government officials, especially with the growing demand for American-made drone solutions. They plan to demonstrate specific drone models like the US -1, which is a multi-rotor, copter built for long flights carrying a significant payload, useful for search and rescue or monitoring wildfires. There is also the G1 Kaid, a VTOL aircraft designed for very long-range missions, potentially covering over 1,000 miles, good for border patrol or inspecting large infrastructure, and a smaller drone called the Mitigator, designed for tactical responses in confined spaces, which is pretty durable and can even carry less lethal payloads. Finally, the filing lists the exhibits. These include the Series E Certificate of Designation and the press release we just discussed. Looking at this filing, DYNAMICAEROSPACESYS. TEMS is clearly actively seeking capital and restructuring its equity. The convertible note and the new Series E preferred stock both introduce potential dilution for existing common shareholders. The Series E preferred stock, with its 1.25 to 1 conversion ratio and voting rights, could significantly shift control if a large amount is issued and converted. The Drone Demo Expo announcement shows a focus on promoting their products to government and public safety agencies, which is a key market for them. The company is making moves to fund operations and perhaps expand, but it comes with the inherent risk of diluting current shareholders. The immediate impact of the convertible note, especially with its conversion terms, will be something to watch closely. Oh, and the research tools I actually use are linked in the description. They help keep this channel going. That is my take. Stay decoded. If you found this breakdown helpful, please like this video and subscribe for more corporate filings analysis, and join our Discord linked in the description.